Okay, I think we're going to just try and. Oh, we're just gonna try and not die. That's kind of the goal at this point. This is now I guess you would say like, it's almost like a survival horror stream at this point. Yeah, I don't know. It feels very, at least to me, survival horror at this point. But like the 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 horror is the bandwidth, and I don't know. I kind of want to investigate kind of like this issue with exploding a little bit, because it's the same guy every single time. Like if we look at here, we get the same guy. Are we? No. Oh my. Oh no, it's over. Um, we might be over. We It might just be over. This might be the end. This might be the end. But yeah, um it's the same guy every single time. It's the like um what is it? Yeah, the geo set. Yeah, this guy. I don't know what's going on here exactly. I remember looking into it once upon a time. And I think that the issue is that it's like some sort of race condition guy that exists within EGL Wayland, but I don't know. It gets very. I feel like it gets very cryptic at this point. Like, command EGL duplicate native fence FD Android aired out with EGL bad parameter. Yeah, this is it's rather I don't know. It gets rather nightmarish. Like, what happens if we search this? Oh yeah, I was thinking about Spyro the Dragon earlier. I yeah, cause okay, this is not related to anything, but I have it open because I think I was thinking about it. Well, of course I was thinking about it. That's why it's open, I guess. But I've been thinking about Spyro the Dragon a lot more. And you know, this is why I was like, I'm going to put on Spyro the Dragon music while I scramble around and set everything up, and then proceeded to do that through multiple explosion scenarios. Look, I was sort of obsessed with this guy, like as a small child. And I was like, I started thinking about is it the box art? Like, this is kind of cool as hell. Like, look, can we zoom? How do you like? You have so much going on in such a like tiny little piece of like box art. Like you have him there. Like he kind of looks, yeah, he looks sick as fuck. Like uh this is like amazing. But then you have in the background like a bull and on one side, and then like a green creature on the other of, you know, I believe these guys were called Norks, like orc, but not copyrighted. I don't know if orc is copyrighted. And I was thinking about this, right? I was thinking about, can we go back to the actual just can we go back to wiki? Okay, thank you. Can we zoom out? Can we zoom? Nope, we only have zoom in. Okay. Um, oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, yeah, Nasty Dork. This is sort of like the bad guy, and they made a few of these. But the one, but what I was thinking about is there's a second one too, right? And uh, a third one. And look at this third one's box art. So like if we look up Spyro year of the, can we actually just search this on Wikipedia? It'll save us a little bit of time. Let's see, Spyro year, yeah, Year of the Dragon. Like, look at this. You just got more guys. You got like a whole cast. You have a whole zoo. And I saw a version of this art where he was skateboarding. And I recall that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is it. This is it. besides the primary quest to find dragon eggs, Year of the Dragon features extensive mini games, which are split off into smaller zones. Some mini games were in the second one. Others were entirely new. Spyro or other critters. The uh, oh yeah, I yeah you, the yeah, it has multiple critters. Includes races, gunfights, and skateboarding. Like I think about I've been thinking about this a lot because yeah, well, they say gunfights. I think this is kind of like a misnomer, if I remember. I believe that no, yeah, because okay, no, well, there are like dogfights in it, but this guy right here, this penguin, this like this creature, I don't know what his name is. He is conscripted into the military though. Like if we look up Spyro penguin, can we get the guy? Sergeant Bird. Yes, that's his name. He is like a military conscript. And we I don't know. I think about this a lot. Like it was kind of wild. I think he was British as well. Um, oh, are we Ugg again? Oh no. I wonder how much of this might just be that I have like bad internet, and how much is total explosion of all things. But yeah, they had this guy. Fandom was verifying my browser. That's frightening. You know, he was in Year of the Dragon. But yeah, I think it's kind of unfortunate. Whenever I have to go on on fandom website, get out of here. Whenever I have to go on fandom website, I don't know. I feel this feels. I feel like everywhere you don't have ad blocker. So this is the thing. I do, but it quit working on this specific browser. I think I have I have it on Firefox, but this is the was it QD browser, I believe it's called, and the ad blocker just kind of broke. I usually do not go on. I usually do not end up on Fandom Wiki, so I forget this at times. This is sort of like just a situation that occurs at times, and then I find myself on Fandom Wiki. I think Fandom Wiki does not just straight up just doesn't fucking work on my LibreWolf like setup. Like I try to go on there, and I try to go on there on like um, LibreWolf, and it's just like we're not gonna let you in, and I don't know the cause of this, but this sort of happens. It's somewhat unfortunate. I don't find myself here often, thankfully. Yeah, various tools to avoid fandom in favor of other sites. This is sort of the case, I think. Most sites have like their own better version. Like I think of what is it, Fextra Life for Dark Souls, for example. Like things such as this, because this is kind of like a cursed scenario. But yeah, this guy was drafted into the military. It's kind of crazy. It's totally crazy. But I think what do we have? Oh, what do we have with this? I really kind of want to know. Can we just search this and like get a guy? Let me check to make sure it does not reveal. Okay, maybe we can just search this guy. Can we just search? Yeah, EGL bad parameter in your area, and I think yeah. So if we do EGL bad per okay parameter, and then which one do we have? 0x 12300 12300. Do we have because I genuinely wonder what is OMG, I finally solved this problem. Turns out I was linking the wrong library. You see, this is I think for people who are having the problem working on things on their own guys, but this is kind of I think it's kind of a terrifying like param or like it's a terrifying error because it's the same guy every single time. Um, This is for using it, or did I type it wrong? Did oh, for using EGL. Yeah. I I think that because like if we look at this, where do we begin to run into sad? Oh yeah, this is it. This is it. I think that this is where we have it. Like the X or XDG surface is. I believe that this is sort of like the source of the error. If I'm, what GPU do you have? I have. Okay, so here's the thing. I have an AMD GPU, but the EGL Wayland. This is okay. So this is kind of the fucked up thing about Wayland. Yeah, I have those. Oh, this is unfortunate news. I do think about getting a new GPU, but like in this economy, I don't know, in this economy, getting a new computer or anything in this economy, but oh no, this is concern. This is cause for concern. Oh, hello, Kiram. Hello and welcome. But yeah, I think that this has always been the issue, and if I recall correctly, what ends up happening is we have somewhere, I think, almost used no OpenGL applications, but when she did, there was a kernel level memory leak in the driver. Oh, this is kind of horrifying to think about just more generally. This is, yeah, this is kind of the great terror. You know, this is, I'm gonna, like, in all honesty, like, the past, this means it's memory that you can't track down. Like, it, I think that this has always been this has been an error I've encountered for quite some time. I wonder if I can find the guide. Yeah, it was. I think this guy is the one that I'm looking for. I think it's this guy right here. So if we go to this, yeah, I found this was kind of maybe about a year ago now. Because this was someone else encountering the same issue right as I was going, kind of going stream mode, where you just have explosion on using OBS because of EGL Wayland. I believe that this was the same one because we have just her. You see, that's kind of terrifying though. Like just seeing your computer like um slowly I guess I don't know. Like it's I think it's kind of scary whenever you get like these like bugs in deep into the guts of it where it's just you don't know you don't know what is going on. Since my last update, the message shows multiple GPU errors every se- Oh, that's kind of horrifying. That that is we live in times of we live in times. We live in times. I wonder what like I wonder what I'm wondering what the message is saying for me now. This is kind of oh yeah okay. Um, I I think I wonder if we should yeah I wish to live outside of time. I kind of feel this to some degree, but yeah, it looks like there are multiple. I'm looking and it's just like Ring GFX something something hardware initialized. Cannot find sizes. There's sort of just multiple. It's spitting out a lot of guys for AMD GPU. Uh, but I don't know. We kind of we live at the mercy of hardware that is I don't know hardware and then like the interfaces for it like in such a way that I kind of find terrifying sometimes because I'm just like, you know, when this stuff like when things break, I'm just like, oh no, this is seeing the scheduler start to fail to schedule things, slowing down as it has to try and do more bookkeeping by flushing all the caches to disk and refetching every time and eventually stopping completely. Oh yeah, this is kind of like I don't know. This is like a horror story almost to some degree. This is kind of terrifying. I think that this one was a no, it wasn't a this a the disable. No, can we load more because I think it thrashes about and then becomes still. Yeah, this is monstrously terrifying. I think. Um, yeah, I believe because this was something similar to what I was having. Right here, where it's the surfaces. Is that what we're getting right before we explode into a million here? Yeah, we have geometry requests for the surfaces, and then but this is running XDG. I believe what happens with this one is that the surface gets freed, but then whatever EGL, like whatever the explicit sync guy is trying to do, requests the surface once it's been free, and it's just use after free and just immediate like kind of murder of the computer sort of situation. This is what I vaguely recall. Yeah, let's see. I don't know. It's kind of yeah. Something in Firefox is doing a commit that interrupts what Mesa are doing. I'm triggering the protocol error. I don't know. I kind of I kind of wonder. Like it's things like this that sort of make me wonder to some degree. Like though I feel I don't know. I feel somewhat sad whenever I say it. It's just like, do I want to be on Wayland if this is happening? But I kind of I really like the idea of the protocol. So I don't know. Maybe the solution is just like switching to like Neri or something like that. The like that one. I don't know. I feel like that's gotta have like because they do what is it smithing I believe. Neri window manager. Um, no matter what you use, you're going to encounter and horrific bugs, but it's just different. You see, this is sort of like part of the reason I I kind of enjoy Wayland, or I kind of enjoyed Wayland is because the the bugs on like the what it was the like Zorg comp, the Zorg configuration guy, opening that is just sort of like you're you're just sort of like entering like the inferno. I feel like I feel like I feel in need of a Virgil to guide me whenever I have to like start working with like X11 stuff and not just the window manager level stuff. Whereas Wayland I think is there's the advantage of the protocol being small enough that you can in most cases blame the window manager. This is sort of like a good advantage of it because the protocol itself does very little. So if things are going horribly wrong, you can blame the window manager pretty readily. But yeah, I was thinking about this guy. I don't know if you. I don't know how much like using the Rust kind of like backends for everything except Wayland itself would like assist with like the error catching, but I feel like maybe. Can we see what sort of issues? Not at all. Okay. Okay, that's reassuring. I don't know. Yeah, it kind of does look like that. I I would I would have imagined at least that like this would protect from some of the like double free guys, but I think maybe just on this level, the sort of like situation you're working with just makes it completely. I don't know. It makes it too. I don't makes it too much, or perhaps I'm overestimating like Rust what Rust can do. Yeah, yeah. This is kind of the case. I think like the FFI kind of situation. Um, but I believe that like what because this uses the like Smithy, which I believe do we do we have yeah, I think interacting with the GPU is kind of the big like the big scare, like I don't know, that's kind of like the final boss in all of this is like interfacing with the GPU and passes it a bad pointer. What can it do? This yeah, this is kind of the case. This is that's I don't know. There's kind of great terror in this stuff to me, especially as one who's not as like well versed in like the hardware side of these things. This is sort of like a great I don't know a great. You just have to trust that everyone is following the protocol. Yeah, this is kind of like a great horror to imagine. I don't know. It's but then I also is that oh no that's Vim. Okay. It's like oh that's the same like color preset I use. What the freak? Baba is you. Oh wait is this their games? Why did we zoom out? Can we? What games do they have? Baba is you. Two that I don't know. Half Life, Hollow Knight. Oh, I only recognize. Look inside video. And these are their favorites. Okay, this is kind of cool. Oh, they have it in the video trimmer too. Oh, I see where it is now. I've always kind of wanted to play Baba as you, but I feel I would get stuck so quickly. I have heard this. I've heard that it's incredibly good. And it's kind of like it's kind of like on that like you know how everyone has the was it the list of games that they are like I'm gonna play that one day and then they never play it. This is me with every single game I possess with the exception of like Morrowind, and you know I'm like I okay like I bought Pathologic 3. I paid money for this guy. I paid money for this guy and clicked download in the Steam store for this guy. And then I played it for a couple hours. I was like, okay, it's time to go play The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind again, so that I can go punch skeletons for 5 hours straight. This is sort of like the I don't know. This is the beauty of this is the beauty of freedom of choice. Hello, Kinski Unplugged. Baba is Gru. Is this a Minions reference? The Minions movie, you know, featuring featuring the Minions. I think these guys are kind of like the staple. Like these are like the mascots of like being a child. This is like the mascot of youth at this point. It's kind of like a ubiquitous terror. I kind of think about this. I was at the grocery store the other day, and I heard a kid saying like banana, like in the Minions voice, like you know how they go like banana, like this kid just kept saying it, and like over and over. I was like, this is wild. I kind of encounter this somewhat like it's relatively infrequent, but it happens. You know, if you go out into places like if you're out and existing, like you encounter like situations where there are like children just being children, and it's kind of odd as someone such as myself who like I don't know like does not know like very I guess does not like have like very many like young children in my family anymore. Like we're all kind of like we're all like pushing up there in the years as they say, and so I forget like what it's like until I see like a child out in the wild. I was on the bus for example, and this kid, I don't know, I kind of, I was like. I was like, I understand this. This I understand. There's a kid on the bus just saying 6'7" the whole bus ride. You know, like a couple seats away. Like, just I just hear behind me the whole time going 6'7", 6'7", 6'7", and it got stuck in my head. And I was thinking 6'7" for I don't more or less the majority of my of my existence on that like bus, and then like the whole ride back. Yeah, 6'7". I don't I kind of it got stuck. It got like latched into my brain. That was sort of the moment that like because this happened in when did this happen? I want to say like October or something. This happened in like October, and that was sort of the moment that like 6'7" hit like my humor registry, and I finally understood. You know, I find like that was the day I got it, I guess. And it's even better because a couple weeks later I was at the grocery store, and I was I kind of do this thing where I just talk to random people in public sometimes. If like I don't know. I feel like this might make me a somewhat terrifying presence, but like if you do it like to elderly people, they tend to enjoy this. Like if you just up and talk to elderly people in like a public setting, they're like, ah, yes. So I ended up and talking like to this elderly lady that was in the grocery line before, like in front of me, and she was complaining about the way that everything is tap to pay now and self checkout. And I was like, yeah, you know, it's kind of wild. Like, just in the short time I have been embodied upon this earth. Like, the proliferation of self checkout has gotten rather intense. Like, it's like the norm rather than like the exception. And she's like, yeah. And then she looks at me and she's like, by the way, do you know what 6'7" means? My child or like, grandchild, not child, my grandchild keeps saying this. And they are, you know, like you don't look that much like older than them. And I was just like, I, like knowingly, I was like, I do indeed know what 6'7" is, but I don't think you're gonna like the answer because it's funny. That's the answer. Oh, hello, crazy kitty as well. What is wrong with you? That's insane behavior. I sort of like I do feel like I feel like this is somewhat actually truly like just you know kind of wild behavior. Like talk, I sort of I got this impression talking with someone from was it the New England area, which like being in Texas, like you kind of people will just kind of talk to you sometimes. This is just sort of a thing. Like people will just up and talk to you. But I remember talking to someone who lived in New York, and they're like, yeah, if someone like came up and started talking to me, I'd kind of be scared. And I don't know if they were just being hyperbolic, but I wonder if this is a regional thing. This is something I always think about. Is like, if I think it's okay to just talk to random people at like the bus stop and stuff, is this going to if I like am traveling somewhere and do not know that this is a regional thing, is this going to like uh, make me seem like I I am a wild individual? I guess I don't really know. But yeah, I think I think that we I think that's January. Um, I don't know. I I hope you are all well. And we're not explode. Oh wait, I can't say that because if I do, we're gonna start. We're going to start having we're gonna start facing great evil, as they say. But I feel like we can get started. That's a safe way. That's a safe wrapper around the statement of we we are we are 30 minutes in and it has not booted me to the display manager. That's a safe way to say that. We can get started. So you know it's kind of like Haskell January situation. I don't want to think about all of this right now. We're just going to pretend that that doesn't exist. So can we go to Documents, Haskell freaking January app? I've been kind of busy on my end. I think with understanding and some notion of the word. I've been like growing my brain like with regard to this, which we kind of. Where do you live? Hold on. Which we kind of like. Oh, did we put book games as the title of the month? So what day is it? I think last time we said it was like January 1st. I think, and this is a week later, so I think we can just say it's January 7th, and that seems close enough to like the actual day. We're not getting graded for this, but like I've been kind of like growing my, like understanding of Haskell, and I don't know. This has been kind of exciting here because I'm finally like this is sort of like the big catch here. Like I'm kind of finally starting to like get it, or at least I think. Like I kind of think that I'm starting to get it, right? Like I I'm having the premonition that like the things are coming together like mentally. Like my brain is kind of able to look at whenever the compiler prints out that beautiful red, like it's kind of able to understand where I went wrong sometimes. Emphasis on sometimes there. Other times it is still blah, but I don't know. Like this is kind of exciting. So I think that blah and the like blah. This is sort of this has been actually my experience from uh, I don't know what time zone I live in. I'm just gonna say Western time. This has been my experience from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Western time is just perpetually going blah, and seeing the display manager or just a a pure unfiltered TTY staring back at me for reasons beyond my control. But we don't want to invoke we do not want to invoke the dark creature known as AMD. This is sort of the situation here. I think like the great evil. I believe it's maybe one of those things where if you say its name like it too much, it appears and explodes itself like inside your computer. But yeah, I'm kind of finally starting to get it. I think this has been exciting. I'm still pretty bad at it, but we're getting there. I'm still pretty like pretty I don't know, but like this was a success. I can't really show it because if I do, it will show tokens that, and we don't want to do that. That's sort of like the thing. Like we don't want to um, make post requests with like authentication tokens live on Twitch.television. This is, I think, kind of in bad taste, but it sort of just it sort of freaking works, which is exciting. But I think that now that we're getting somewhere where things don't just die in a million pieces, we can sort of start working on some of the other faculties that will be necessary to get all the pieces moving. I think, and for this kind of matter, today is like the how do we actually grab like guys from file kind of day. This is sort of the main situation here, which I don't think it should be too hard. But yeah, we will go ahead and get into it. So, where do you live? I say it shouldn't be too hard, but I think that might. I think I should. I think I should speak no judgment until the situation has passed. But I've done something of the sort with the. Do we have the? Can we do a split right here? Thank you. I've done something of the sort with. If we go here into the IRC guy, and we go into here, and we sort of have like they're somewhat ugly looking, more or less. But we have sort of like straight up straight up shell commands. Hello Prodigy Pod. Welcome. Welcome. We did not explode 3 times before we got to um, 40 minutes of non-explosion. That this didn't happen. Yeah, this is the first time. Who like yeah like I tried Sway. It is so hard. I I kind of okay. I kind of hate Sway. Like I want to be, I feel so bad saying that because I always I never want to I want to be like that person that like sort of is you know a fan of like like a supporter of any attempts on Waylon, but Sway is just Sway is kind of awful in my opinion. Like just Hyperland, any has been showing it to me, but actually Court says it's made by kind of bad people. It, yeah. So, okay. So this is like, let's see. I think to some degree I do want to I think choose my words carefully because I don't have like a full scope of the situation, but like the kind of like the primary maintainer of Hyperland is a relatively I would say like unsavory individual. And it's one of those situations, I think, where it's like not. It's not. I don't know. It kind of sucks because in spite of that, like the software itself. Well, I did explode like 3 times, but like the software itself is very like professionally maintained. I would say for the most part, and very high quality. But like it's kind of the person themselves. They're sort of like a they're I guess you would just describe it as edgy. Would be the best way, and just generally not woke. I think is the best way I would describe this. And for some time, like a bit of a rabble rouser in terms of like Wayland Protocol like infighting, which is it's its own thing. I think like this is sort of this is kind of the issue with Wayland more generally. It's like a lot of there's a lot of drama in Wayland. I from what I recall, get a fork of Hyperland. I I don't know if there are any existing forks. I think the primary thing is just, or at least what I think with regard to it is, if I use like using this does not make this guy any money. If I do not give this guy money, this is sort of how I've kind of like felt about it. And in Pin It Until I Die, this is honestly I think version pinning is probably the best thing in Hyperland. After after the past 2 hours of existence for me, I think that this is probably the best thing that one can do. But yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty top notch window manager. Like in all cases, I think the only thing I can think of that maybe rivals it is the actually yeah because this does rival it. Not Neri. I haven't used Neri, so I can't speak on that. But what do they call this? Cutie browser? Yeah. No, not browser. What do you call it? Qtile. Yeah, Qtile. This this guy this guy was one of my favorites, but it runs both a so it's written in Python, which I thought was kind of wacky, but like it runs oh this is kind of this is kind of like an amazing guy. You sort of get it's written in Python, and you sort of have like the situation I think where it can be somewhat unfortunate because it's one of those ones where you can just sit there and configure it forever. I think, but it has both an X11 and a Wayland backend. I was at one point maintaining a package for this for geeks that implemented the Wayland backend because GNU Geeks is kind of evil and will not provide me a Wayland backend for Qtile. Though I had submitted some patches to add like the required like dependencies. I think that this is sort of just due to how they're doing versioning for Python. The Python situation on Geeks is kind of fucked up, but like, yeah, it has a Wayland backend, and I maintain like my own kind of like separate like build of it for a little bit. But then they updated Python and everything broke, and I just haven't had the heart to repair it. I think because it was so much work to get working originally, and then it didn't. It's sort of it was sort of like it was sort of like a strike into the core of my heart. But yeah, I really like this guy. It is a kind of anything you don't like about it, you can easily fix in it's in Python, and they have very wildly good documentation. Is sort of like the other thing. Like um like I think that this is I'm about to go off again. Ooh, this is exciting. And enjoy your outing, Azrael IO. This is exciting. Enjoy. But yeah, they have kind of like the sort of they I will try to survive. Is it This is sort of what this is how it goes for us all out there in this world. We've already had two fights. Oh no, this is it, you endure, and then enduring grows strong, yeah, as they say. I I think. Oh, I want to play Planescape Torment again, but I remembered my torment with this phraseology. But best of luck out there. You know, a salute. If I had arms, I would salute with this thing. But I can salute here. I can just salute here. But yeah, the documentation, like they have very good like docs. I think it's kind of generated by like whatever Python uses to do like the documentation guys. I think this is sort of the case. So you're not just like dealing with like the fresh hell that is Doxygen that you get from like some other things, or not dealing with like sway. And not dealing with sway is really an advantage here, like in all situations. But yeah, it's kind of it's kind of an amazing window manager. And it's got both backends, so like not dealing with sway is the idea, yes. Yeah, this is sort of like, though I was talking about sway and like switching if we generate a great curse again, because there is this guy. Do we have do we I wonder if this has been updated like 5 months ago. That's not too bad. There is kind of this guy that does guile scheme for sway, and they expose, I think, like a lot more of like its I or like was it like ICP IPC? One of those is the correct one, and the others are rap group. I think it's I was it yeah, IPC. So yeah, it's because ICP is the insane clown posse. This is sort of like a different situation entirely. We're like different proveniences. Yeah, they they switched this way to the hyper instability issues, which is I think understandable. But yeah, this exposes it in Scheme, and you could do cool guys like this. I think look at that. They have the they have the Arch Linux NeoFetch open on every terminal pop up as well, which I remember I did this my first year of Linux. I thought NeoFetch was the coolest like thing ever. I was like, I'm going to oh yeah, and Witch Key and Rofi, I think. It's kind of sick. List spotted. Hello, Sorcerer. Yeah, this is the I am a big fan of Lisp. And we actually I do use GNU Geeks, which I think this is what this is was kind of technically written for, hence why it's in Guile Scheme. They really want you to know, or that they use Arch. By the way, yeah, this is sort of the case. So like I mean I did this. I cannot what like what is it like like if you if you're if you lack sin, um, you can throw rocks at people, but if you have done the same thing, you can't throw the rocks at them. Something like that's in the Bible, I think, or something like that. I don't really know, but they say it's a quote, I think. But that's how I feel about Neofetch. Having an ASCII or Geeks mentioned, yeah, we are running on Geeks. This is sort of like Lisp and Nix. This is sort of yeah, this is this is kind of the situation. Um, I would say even more so, like the build from source. That's kind of like the really exciting aspect of it, as well. But we we do have this. I've been trying to because I know that they don't do the do we have it here? Can we go to I don't know. I know that the individual doing Guile Swayer, they're doing something a little bit different because they're kind of like exposing like the IPC or yeah IPC, not the Insane Clown Posse. I've been working on this as a live in mutable houses should not throw stones. This is the case, I think. But yeah, I've been working on this like sort of in spare time, which it's just like all it does is it like transpiles like scheme into like a hyper like configuration. I don't know. It's it it's kind of oops I mean glass. Yeah, it's kind of it's been a kind of fun like thing. So I don't know. I like it, but now I'm like sad because if I change window managers, will this have been all for naught? You know, um, what did they say? Like, what if I become my empire of dirt? Something like this. But yeah, you know, we're doing. It's freaking January, so I think we're doing. Does everything work for you on Geeks, or do you have non-free hardware issues? I'm using NixOS, but I'm okay. So this is sort of like the like thing that. So this is I have non-free hardware. And this is sort of like the situation with Geeks is you do not want to just use Geeks, right? Like if you can, maybe like if you somehow have like a Wi-Fi card or other similar thing or an HDMI like monitor that has like completely free hardware, use it to your heart's content. But kind of like what you have to do for the most part is they have this channel. They have non geeks, which is the sort of like you would say the like non-free hardware channel. Not just hardware. They sort of have they have Steam. They have Steam. They have games. This lets you have games on my phone kind of situation, I think, which I quite like. If we go to the packages, for example, they provide like a lot of like non-free hardware that you're just not going to get on Geeks. This is sort of a necessity in terms of like the system. I think on any modern hardware. And it works like a charm. I would say it's kind of amazing how I think professional like this one is in terms of like keeping up with the actual like Geeks repository. But I always this one's a for sure. This one's a for sure, and then you'll probably still, if I'm being honest, be missing like depending on like use cases. You may be missing like certain pieces of like hardware still. Oh, do they have a cock? Yo, okay. Comp cert. Oh, this is exciting. Maybe. Nice. I think I heard about it, but I didn't know it was so good. Yeah, the non geeks channel is very good. One other that I use, with the exception of like my own channel, which is mostly for just like weird Emacs things that I end up like upstreaming at some point, if I can, so that I don't have to touch them anymore. Um, Yeah, adding other package channels. That is the key idea. Like, so Geeks has, yeah, Geeks has like these package channels, right? And see, can we go to, yeah, specifying additional channels, and you kind of do it in your channel configuration, which is pretty straightforward as well. But it really just comes down to like adding the like channel information. Usually with most channels, they will tell you what to copy and paste, which is kind of nice here. Like if we go to the repository, yeah, if we go here, can we go to the README? Yeah, they'll tell you exactly what to put in your file, which is always nice. Be careful about trusting channels. Yeah, this is sort of like a case as well. You know, exercise caution. Exercise caution in terms of these. And I would say in most cases, like the less channels you're pulling from, it tends to be a lot less complex. But there's kind of channels for everything out there. It's a very nice system. I like. It's somewhat difficult to recommend, I will say, on some fronts, depending on like if you're using Nix. I don't know if you're using Nix already. It can be kind of it can be rather exciting, you know. But if you're not using Nix, like if you haven't used Nix before, it can kind of be a learning curve, worse than Nix, I would say, honestly. But I like it a lot. I like it a lot, and I kind of like the like general like bent that they have toward in most cases, like with the exception of like the non-free channel, like trying to build everything from source, because this is really cool, I think, for preservation purposes as well of like the software. Haskell freaking January canceled due to negative weather. We did have some inclement weather on the on the airwaves for a little bit there, but we we speak not of the quality of the machine for fear that it will invoke its wrath. But it seems that we are existing. I think. Hello, Topo Cato. First time chat, exciting. And hello, Sparkly Dark Matter 73. But it kind of indeed is Haskell freaking January. So I wonder if we can just launch into this, with the full force of our brains and not die. Hasn't been evaluated yet because of lazy. This actually might be it. This might be it. Yeah, this is kind of it. We have like multiple. So this is from the like IRC guy that's running, which I don't remember what most of these do. I don't remember what most of these do, but I do believe that honestly, so we have the one that turns people bald, or like calls people bald. I think we have one that just says syscall. But that I think the point is that we don't really need to know what these do so much as we need to set up like a shell system to sort of replicate this, to both interface with Emacs, but also we need to be able to read from like files, I think, because if we're going to move the WebSockets into this, we have to start that kind of like that sort of situation, I think. Which I don't know if we want to use the system process guys anymore, because this says it's kind of like it feels like a somewhat wild way to do it. Maybe it's not too bad. The machine spirit requires 67 Fahrenheit frankincense to be burned hourly. It sort of kind of is, I think, the situation. It's I just said I just kept saying, please don't explode again. I think it's kind of funny because I know whenever it's happening, or I know whenever it's about to happen, I guess would be the way to say it. Okay, so we didn't break. Do we have good guy? Okay, we have good guy. Do we have overloaded strings already? Oh wait, we have to set. I think it's set x overloaded strings. So we kind of need that guy to do anything of to do anything of worth with Haskell. Not maybe not anything of worth, but what we're doing in here, the moment we're I think using byte strings, we sort of need this guy. But what we're going to do, I think, for the shell commands is what do you call this? Haskell turtle. I encountered this guy, which seems maybe like a bit more of a neater way to sort of like do this. I think it bites, it formats, it lines, and it options. So we might end up being able to use this guy for the general. Saying anything of worth in Haskell is a moderate stretch, depending. You see, I kind of felt this way for a little bit. I think, but after thrashing against it, I think without reading any, thrashing against it as much as I could without actually reading anything that would have made my life easier. I have come to enjoy a good deal of it. I think. Let's see. Here's a recommended way to import this library. Prelude hiding file path. Okay. It's a very functional group. I enjoy. Yeah, I enjoy the kind of like functional aspect of it. I think I think that the sort of difficulty I encountered is just like I am not good at strict typing. I am not good at understanding what I'm doing wrong the moment like what I'm doing wrong is being enforced by a type checker. But we kind of endure through this. So can we just make a what would we call this? I don't know, shell bug shell, because I don't want to override like anything actually named shell. That would be annoying as hell. We'll call it bell. That sounds okay. So we'll go into bell. We'll go into probably we'll just say core. The sounds okay. The sounds okay. Core.haskell. So they want us to import that. What is prelude? Oh, that's probably hiding. Yeah, this probably has its own file path guy. I think then in this case. So Binix Bernal and Gnome next. Yes. Yeah, this is sort of the case. So this is like the. I think this is a bit of an improvement on the traditional naming convention of just prepending the word bug to everything, because I think that this becomes kind of, we're doing this backwards. Actually, we have this guy up here. Can I grab you? Thank you. And then, so we grab that, and then we, what's it? Bug cases advanced, yes. Yeah, this is sort of like, if I don't know what to call something, I will just call it bug, and then, prepend whatever it does after. Yeah, so import hiding. Import preload hiding. I've never used the hiding on import. That's interesting. So we're hiding file path. Is that the case? Is that the case for it? Is that what we have? So if we do, yeah. Oh, it's a type constructor. Okay. And then we want to import. Can we have turtle? Okay. Yeah, that's the one that we want. I think honestly with this we could just have the Unix-like abilities to get you started with basic shell-like programming in Haskell. Do we want the prelude? Do we want Oh, that's kind of cool. Hold on. So if we grab this, if we do import turtle dot, so what does shell give us? Can we do an as so that we can get so that we can get there. We'll do as turtle shell. So ts dot so I think that this is so what type are you? What type are you? Monad.io shell a. Okay, so we have to put a shell in there. So what if we do and then dot prelude as tp. Okay, we have tp dot we have tp dot northern lion. Okay, this is exciting. Oh, die. Okay, okay.
I'm just okay being bald. It's not really that big of a deal.
Oh, I forgot to turn off the bald. I forgot to turn off the bald. Oops. Oh, wait. tp dot oh whoa. Okay, okay. This is sort of advanced. So, what type do we have? So if we just call this, okay. So it just returns IO file path, and file path I believe is a what a type synonym for, yeah. What does tp.owo do? So let's see, tp dot permissions. Okay, can we actually go into the oh, okay, it's those. It's oh, was it um oh whoa. Okay. What, I don't know what the O stands for in this context. I think this would be like, was it read only, or O meaning none? Okay. Oh, is this like, okay, that I didn't know that. Okay, exciting. Yeah, I do know the guys at the bottom of like the read write exec, but I was wondering what the like the O meant in this case. I think I didn't know it meant none. That's exciting. So they do provide us some good guys. So do we have a do we have a cat? Well, we do have a cat. We have a cat, but what does it return? Because I wonder if we can just cat the file. Um, it returns a shell. Oh, okay. This is horrifying. So if we do dot cat, and then where do we live right now? We're living in, so if we do app bug socks, and then I don't know, we'll do post. We'll just do post. Is that shell a with care or char? Okay, so that is sort of the initial issue that we are going to encounter, it seems. Which, if we have, give me the, oh, they have a read text file. This is kind of exciting, but it says deprecated. Data.text.read file instead. Yeah, is this? I guess we'll check out data.text.io in that case. Can we get a Google? Can we get a Google going? I think this is probably needed from the get go. But we have, what were you called? What were you called? Read file. Okay. So can we read file? Oh, we have hedgehog again, and they said that this was in data.text. Can we go to text data.text.io? Okay, here we go. Here we go. The read file function reads a file and returns the contents of the file as the string. The entire file is read strictly, as with get contents. Beware that this function, similarly to read file, is locale dependent. Unexpected system locale may cause your application to read corrupted data. I I think that um, I think that we're relatively okay with this reading alphanumeric strings. I think this is. Although, do we want to use hget contents? Like, is it worth evaluating this lazily? I kind of don't think so, if we're being honest. So where do you live again? Data.io.text. Yeah, I was thinking about this. I'm wondering. Oh, it's much faster. I didn't read the faster part. No, I think what you have to do with these is you need to dot like what is it, like compose them into like one guy, but we'll need both in this case. So data.text.encoding. So we're going to import that guy. So import data.text.encoding, and I think that we only want. Take me to the guy, please. Yeah, decode UTF-8. All right, so decode UTF-8. Well, we'll get that guy. We'll get import data.text.io, and who are we grabbing? Your name is read file. Okay, beautiful. So yeah. Do we explode into a million? Nope, we get okay. So can we go ahead and cd into this directory? Or wait, no, we're loading the file, I think. Whenever okay, so can we just make a can we make a fake guy? Can we do like something like fake.key, and let's go. All right, this seems kind of proper. So if we do read file, and then where's the type of this? Okay, I don't like that. That's relatively annoying. I think that we do have to import it kind of this style. I forget that these are different guys. Okay, it is still going to give me that. Can we do as then? Can we do as DTI? All right. Let's see. DTI dot read file. Did I make a typo? Oh, okay. Yeah, this sounds about right. This sounds like something I would do. Oops. All right. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So we're just doing a file path. That's just a string, I think. So we should just be able to read file. And then can we do like fake dot key? Huh? Huh? What in the, what is our what is our current directory? Oh, I put fake.key there. Whoops. All right. So we'll do fake.key. And we'll just do something like here we'll just what is this, gay typing? I believe. I forget what people call this, but whenever you slam the keyboard in a Tumblr post kind of situation. We'll do that to simulate a key, I think. Alright, so it does give it to us as a string, which is kind of annoying, I think, but Oh, it's because I wrote it as a string. Alright, that's goofy. Alright, that seems much better. So we'll do that. We'll import and then data.text dot encoding as, and we'll do DTE on that one. So what we end up needing is something like decode UTF-8, and then we'll do that, and then do you go first or second? You go second. Okay. Good luck with Haskell. I need to correct, and sweep is almost 4 a.m. Or how's it almost 4 a.m. already? Best of luck with sweep correction, and thank you. I wish you well in this endeavor. This is sort of my perpetual struggle as well. I think just being like, oh, it is 4 a.m. and I've been doing the same thing for 4 hours straight. I don't. This is sort of like I think the curse of the night in some degree. I think this is sort of like the curse of evenings. It's just like I am the only soul in this world, and I will be goofy on my own accord. I don't know. It's kind of nice though, but I wake up the next day at like noon, if not worse, and I'm like ugh ah. And then if it's a Sunday, I like full like just blah like just the full terror of the prospect of the fact that like the next day I have to wake up at 6 a.m. But we won't think about the long day whenever the long day is not here. So let's see. With actual type IO text. So I think we're going to have to do some IO lifter, guys, because this returns the IO text. Decode wants a byte string. So I think that the first thing that we just want to do is, or need to correct homework and sweep, and also my sweep schedule. Oh, but best of luck with both of these endeavors. This is, it's sort of like it's the foreboding task, I think, at some degree. So I will. Oh, these are all called reads. So we'll just say can we just do read file like that? And what we want to take, I think we're just kind of taking a what's it? Yeah, file path, and then how do we want to return this? I feel like we're just going to return an IO string in this case. Or what do you return, decode UTF-8? You return text, so we'll end up returning IO text. So something like this. Yeah, IO text. So I'll think of a better name for this, I think, at some point, but this is not that point, unfortunately. So we'll do F, and then where are you? We'll want to take that guy first and lift the IO off of it so that we can or does this want this to decode it second? Let's see. If we take their advice and we just do the dot notation, what do we do? What do we get for that? We get error. Okay. Ambiguous. So I think that we are going to have to like get this guy as an as, I think. So we'll just go ahead and do that. So if we do that, we kind of get the actual, we probable cause applied to too few arguments. Okay. So it does not work that way necessarily. So instead, what we are going to need to do is probably do a do block for this. Equal do, and then just do R arrow. We'll take that guy, F, and then that returns the I think the only kind of issue I can see with this, looking at it, is if the file doesn't exist, like we're sort of in trouble. Like what happens if we do a non-existent guy, we get the exception, right? Which this just kind of sucks, I think, as a thing. So I actually do not know how we can catch that exception. I believe Haskell does like a try catch method. Can I guess we are stuck with the. Oh no, we do have real world Haskell. I think maybe this. Let's see. So do we have do we have catch? Do we have catch? Okay, so it takes an yeah, it does take an IO guy. Let's see. Where do you actually live? Can I just have the full guy? Let's see. So import control that. So do we have access to exception? No, does that live in control.exception? Data, Reddit exception, instance exception, Reddit exception. Okay. Okay, yeah, here we go. Control.exception. All right, we're somewhere. So I think we're gonna need that guy as well. So where do you live? Import control.exception. All right. So if we grab that guy, can we grab him down here as well? All right, thank you. And typeable show. All right. So this shows us like how to define one, but we're trying to catch one. All right, catching exceptions. There we go. There we go. See, it's possible to catch any using, if you want to do some cleanup in the event that the exception is raised, use finally bracket on exception. To recover after an exception and try to do something else, the best choice is the try. So we have this guy. So try exception I am. Returns either as a result, which is write a. So I think that we can just go ahead and try this guy. So if we do something like this, try, and then that. Oh wait, I think the try goes here. It's not gonna let us do that, I don't think, but it may. So we're gonna catch by returns. Let's see. So what do we have for catch here? And then do they have... You know, it might actually be like a just a better way to like see like catch this beforehand. Now that I think about it, can we return to Hoogle for a second? Because I don't think we're gonna have to catch anything if we just check if the file exists. So file, can we? All right, file exists. Here we go. There are many of these guys. I think we're just gonna grab this one right here, perhaps. For file status, that's system.posix.files. And then, yeah, returns an IO bool. So we can just check that and probably be good to go. And then where did you live? Where did you live? System.posix.files. So if we do import system.posix.files as, what do SPF, you know, sunscreen reminder of sorts. So we do SPF dot file exists, and then let's do fake dot key and see what we get back. We get back a IO true. So if we do real, so we can just check that. But if we're doing it kind of that style, we kind of want to do like probably an either right here. So either this would be our good case. Yeah, this would be our good case, and then we will do a bad case, which will just be a string. We'll just return a string in that case. And actually, can we kind of make a new type for this? And then how do you define new types again? Let's see. We have one here in the. Do you live here? Yeah. Okay. You just do it like that. So we'll do kind of like a new type. We'll just call this a, you know. We're in bell, so we'll just call it bell error. So we'll call it bell error, and it will equal. Yeah, let's just spell it out. It'll be bell error and string. And if we hide these guys, do you explode? Nope. Okay, good. So I think we can just catch that. Which will kind of reduce a lot of these guys right here. So if we do that, we can go ahead and do like a file exists check. So fe, let's go ahead and do a dash, nope, dash right here, and then we are trying file exists. Do we kind of get this as a, do we get this as like just a guy? And oh, I got an emergency. Wait, what? Hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait a sec. Sorry, I got an emergency notification that said shelter in place, and then it disappeared. This is kind of scary. Hold on. What is going on? What is going on? Hold on. I wonder where that. Hold on. Give me give me a couple, maybe a minute or two. Give me a minute or two to see what to try and pull this back up on my phone. Just to make sure I do not have to be worried. I will BRB. Okay, I am back. Apologies for that. That was kind of frightening. Yeah, I think I'm okay. It said to avoid the window and lock the doors, but it's also occurring like 3 miles from me, so we might be okay. Um, that was kind of scary. Oh goodness. Okay, but yeah, we're not gonna think about that. I think. So we need to check if this thing exists. So, oops, hold on. Can we go back to? Can we go back to here? And can you show up at the bottom? Haskell will fix it. This is sort of the case, I think, in these situations. So we probably don't even need to. Yeah, I'm guessing that the POSIX guy. This is probably. This is probably exported by the prelude, I think. Can we get some information on? So if we do I file exists. No, it's in the POSIX thing. So we probably do need to do a sort of like more a more notable one, just to be on the safe side. So FE is we're going to grab the file exists F, and then I think if we check here in the post, we want to do we want to do a case situation. Yeah. Actually, I think we can kind of short circuit this. So yeah, I think we can kind of short circuit this guy. So if we do, no, I don't think we can just perform an action. Here, so we actually do need to do a case. So if false, we're going to go ahead and return. We'll do a return $sign because it's Haskell. We have to make money. We have to. I think about this with a $sign every time I use it in Haskell. I'm like this is, this is like the monadic money maker is the joke I make in my head. And a file path is just a string, I think. So if we do like, can we do a test? Can we do blah dot blah as a, like, can we do this as a file path guy right here, just to make sure that we can overload our strings? And can we do y equals, I don't know, blah, yeah, and do this as a string right here. And then can we plus these? Can we? Okay, blah dot blah blah blah. Okay, perfect. So we can kind of do that, which is nice. We can do that, which is rather nice. So so we can do something like that. In the case that it is false, and then if it is true, we will do which I think you can sort of actually file exists returns a bool, or returns an IO type as well, doesn't it? Yeah, it returns an IO bool. Okay, so we do need to keep this kind of like do notation there. Else we want to grab this guy, and we want to encode UTF-8. That's what we were, or decode UTF-8. So, and then what is our type for DTE dot decode UTF-8? So it should just work. That should just work. Because we're not dealing with IO there, so we might be able to just return this. So if we return and then decode this guy, we need to make this the right situation. This is what happens whenever we're right. Okay. Do we get compiler red? We do. Okay, we do. So we need to convert this into a byte string. We have to add this guy up here as well. Oh, yeah. Add overloaded string. Oh, you already do exist at the top of the file. Why are you? Yeah, these two are the exact same guys. What in the world? Oh, it just keeps asking if I want to add it. Okay, this is just kind of being evil a little bit. let's see. Couldn't match expected type with actual type char. Can we just go? Can we go like this? Will this cause less complaint? No, that causes in fact more complaint, I think. Okay, so this is kind of being straight evil right there. I feel like this should be... Do we need to pop this one into parentheses? Is that... Oh, okay, yeah, we were just missing parentheses. Okay, that's kind of silly. All right, let's see. So next we have this guy is a bit of the next problem here, which decode UTF-8 is expecting a byte string. It looks like, and we want to plop out text after, but we're receiving text. So what we kind of need is a way to. Do we have text? No. We have word 8. Can we grab you from the data.text? Actually, do we have on Google? Do we have like a 2-byte string guy? We actually have many of these guys. So if we do something like this, and can we find text? So that's short text. Okay. What happens if we do from text? This might be it. Okay. I do not want this from Pandoc if we can avoid that. Haskell Lua. Wait, what? Hold on, Haskell Lua. That seems interesting. Slua. Okay. So we do have the types. Do any of you give me... Nope. No byte string. Okay. I wonder if we're going to have to like break this down into a different guy to get this to do what we want it to do. Like, are we gonna have to break this down into bytes? Which, that would be the, what? Word 8? Yeah, I think if we can convert it to a word 8, we can just go ahead and pack it. But then it becomes a question of how do we go ahead and convert this into the word 8? So think that we actually have something for this. Hold on. Yeah, I think we have a guy for this somewhere already. So let's see if we have that in. I think it lives. I think it lives in, yeah, bug socks, and then it lives in types. Yeah, so we do have this guy. Can we grab that? Can we grab uh can we grab types? Oh, why did Oh, this is the wrong file. Oops. Um this is the correct file. Okay, can we, yeah, grab types. I think we were in Bell, we were in core. And then we will import bugsocks.types. Can I have? Okay, perfect. So I think if we use this guy, this will solve every single problem in the world. You are the correct guy, are you not? Yeah. Oh, 2-byte string. Yeah. Compilation failed. Could not find module. Bugsocks.types. That's fearful. What is our current working directory? We can just grab this guy and put him right here, actually. Okay. So we have a new type there. And we'll grab this. We can kill this. Gah. Okay. Gah. This is another import, which this one is data.bytestring, I believe. Can I grab? Yeah, give these two to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then okay. We might kind of be in type hell still in this regard. I think that we can just show it. I think we can just show it, actually. Can we just show it? Can we just show it? Can we just do this guy? Oh, that works. That's kind of silly. Okay. I guess if it works, it works. And we'll probably change this to not read file dash. Let's do the silly, like, prefix guys, just so that we're not like dealing with other versions of this. So we'll just do bugsocks read file. This seems acceptable. This seems good and proper. Whoops, give me, okay. Yeah, this seems good and proper. Okay, perfect. We'll grab it like that. And then what kind of guys do we have in here? We have, are we able to just import this now? So can we just say, do we not have a module name for this guy? All right. We kind of need that. We kind of need that to import. That might be why we weren't able to deal with the, that might be why we were having the overloaded strings issue. This might actually be the case. I don't think so, actually, because it wasn't causing that as a problem right here. Well, file path is a string, so I wonder if, since we did that, we can get rid of that? No. Okay, perfect. So can we import? Thank you. And can we try a... Can we try real.key? Can we do x equals... oh, because we get the IO from that. Okay, so we have to do the I forgot about IO. That's annoying. Can we just lift IO? Can we show that? Can we show that? Oh, that lifts it into the other monad. So ambiguous occurrence. I don't want an ambiguous occurrence. We're going to... I could do this whole time. Okay. So if we do something like, we have the x. So we could do something like do, and then can we do x dash, and then can we just do x, and then can we do show x? Does that give us anything? It won't let us do it if we have that. I think that what we could do in this case actually is we can just check if it's either, or we need to check if it's left or right. For that we need data.either, so import data.either. Yeah, this seems like a good one. Okay, perfect. And then do we explode? Okay, we don't explode. Can we re-import? So let's see. In that case, what we kind of want to do is just a small test. So I think we'll have to reintroduce X since we reloaded everything. So can I have you? Can I have you? Thanks. Okay. Okay, beautiful. So grab that, and this should return this should return evil, you know? So we'll do, and then we are going to do, let's do if. Oh, I think that we have to import. Data.either here as well. So we can just do, okay, now we can do it. So if is left is what it's called, right? Is left. Yeah, yeah. Then, and we'll go ahead and, oh, okay, I'm a fool. All right, so do x is, we want to lift that into x, so if is left x dash, then is a put string line like that. No, you have this, right? So we have. Okay. Whoops. I'm not real. Else, and then we will put string line. Let's see. Yippee. I'm real. Okay. Okay. This seems like a good test. And then we will go ahead. Let's just return. Let's just. Blah. Okay. Okay. It is giving us evil due to an ambiguous occurrence. We're gonna trust the process, I think. Let's just do a little test or so. Let's go. Final test ma. Yeah, let's do final test ma. F equals do and then F dash backslash read file F, and then I think we can do something like this then. So if is left, we want to just go ahead. Apparently we have an ambiguous occurrence, which is, it is what it is, I guess. So we will do prelude dot put string line. I am not real. Sad. Okay. Else, let's see, prelude dot alright, and we'll just call this yippee I'm real. Colon 3. Okay. What the frick? Whoops. Okay. So we have something like that. Can we import and can we just test this? Okay, that does exactly what it should do. So let's keep you down there. So that's just to read the file. I think that we also want a write file. I think for this, actually, we can just use the normal write file, right? Do we have a write file? Alright, so it takes text and it plops out the IO. Okay, beautiful. So I think that for this, we kind of just want to stick these guys in like a sort of a dot file kind of guy here. So for something like this, what we're going to do is we're going to just define a couple different ones. Down here, can we go to the types? Just see what sort of guys we're handling. Oh wait, we want to grab this guy first. Refresh. So this is our response type, and the response gives us the access token, refresh token, and the scopes. If we look at the which ones of these do we need to keep track of? The response contains a new access token, refresh token, and scope associated with the new grant. Okay, so I think that for the access token, we can kind of pass that guy around, you know, just like wherever we want to put him, basically. we don't really need to store that as like a writable file, since we can just kind of stringify. I like take the string and then just like directly put it into the WebSocket client. But I think for this we need the um, so we'll just call it this. We'll just call it this, which is somewhat of a somewhat of an unfortunate name, I think, to some degree, but we must make do with it. And from the actual post, we're not just returning a refresh response. We're returning, if we go to post right here, so we have to take in the IO either string or refresh response guy. So we have to take that in, which is it is what it is, I guess. So string, can I string? All right. Or I think what do we want to spit out is sort of the next question, I think. So this just does, yeah. Testing if this was successful is going to be a little bit wild because the file might already exist, but we want to be able to test if we actually successfully successfully did the thing. So it's going to return. I think I don't know. I feel I feel a lack of desire to do this, but I think that we're just going to propagate this like any error upward again. Sort of like in a similar situation right here. And can we just return? Can we return nothing if we are happy? Can we just return nothing? That could actually just be a maybe. Although it feels weird to make the. I guess it feels kind of weird to make the maybe like the failure case the just. That's kind of. It feels kind of fucked up. I feel like, but it kind of saves, I think, because we can just return none if we achieve victory. In this case, so I think we're gonna do a maybe right there. So we're gonna right. And then this is going to be the what? We have the refresh response. We'll just call this RR. And I think the first thing that we're gonna have to do is grab this guy from the. We're gonna have to grab it from the IO, which is just. I think in this case we can just lift the IO. So if we do something like let, which means that we don't need that guy right there. Can we lift IO outside of a do block actually? Well, we can try. Equals. Alright, so if we let it in there, we have the either then. So I think our first kind of test case here is just we want to make sure that we have the we have the we want to make sure that we actually have the guy here, which if we go here, we can just do kind of, yeah, we can do something like this. So we can do case rr of, and if we have like if we have the left, if we have the string, whoa, we have cheap viewers. Um, this is exciting. This is this is rather nice. I think I think I have to kill the robot, which is kind of sad, but you know, these things must happen. I think. I wish you well in the. Why is it not giving me? Why is it not allowing me to click the murder button? Um. Oh, there we are. There we are. I wish you good luck with the cheap viewers. However, stunning sociologist six zippy. I wish you well. I will miss you. You know, my heart will be somewhat sad saying goodbye. But it's not goodbye. It's see you again. I guess it's see you again in other robot style in this regard. So yeah, I think with this we can just go ahead and do a yeah, we can just go ahead and do a left guy. All right. I feel like there's got to be a cleaner way to do this, but I do not know that I do not know the cleaner way. I think in this case, unfortunately, but so it goes. So it goes. So if we streamer, do I actually have to read Derrida, or am I being trolled by Twitter and Blue Sky users? You do not have to read Derrida. Well, there reading Derrida is not something you should feel compelled to do. Okay, we're gonna get briefly, I think, political. I think for a moment, but like reading Derrida is, you know, you should not have to feel the need to do this. It's more of a pleasure to do this if you so desire. There, I guess the person I would say you have to read in any case, as a human being is probably Franz Fanon. This guy, this guy. Do we have this? This guy, yes. So in any case, as a human being, this is probably my top pick for if someone asks me who do I have to read. Like if someone were to approach me in the street, I would instantly say, you have to read Black Skins, White Masks. Like this is sort of like the first thing that would come to mind. Maybe Wretched of the Earth. I don't know. It's very much a toss up. But I'm a big fan of Fanon. I think I'm reading Black Skins, White Masks right now, and like I feel bad because it makes me too woke a little bit. Sometimes I feel too woke, and then I feel bad for being too woke. They sell it at LAX bookstores. I read that as Latinx bookstores at first. Like I misread that, but I I read this, I read this many years ago for the first time, and it sort of like rewired my brain. But such is the way these things go. But like I feel like if there's one guy you got to read, it's probably him. It's probably this guy. I feel like this is kind of important. This is kind of important knowledge, actually. Can we go to the can we go to the can we go here? Can we go here? I think, yeah, we kind of have this, like, if you were to draft up a list of the guys you must read. First and foremost, I think has already been established. Like, this is kind of like my first pick. I think if we're looking at like list of guys you might read, probably the second pick is actually not guys, but I don't know, like girl. Yes. I think this is kind of the the I feel like this is kind of like the next necessity is like you know we kind of we will say read women, you know, read like what they have to say. I kind of feel like thirdly of this, you know, shot actually yeah. Can we get can we shout out women? Uh, thank you, women. You know, as they say. I'm being sent to the hauntology mines, and I feel the need to speed run. If you need to speed run hauntology, just listen to music. That's literally that's the solution. Listen to hauntological music. This is kind of the case, like caretaker kind of guys. You know, these kind of people. They sort of, you know, they give you the experiential. I guess you would say conception of hauntology. I feel like I feel like Derrida is kind of like a fun guy to read, but like it's 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 sort of it's he like I feel somewhat sad in the sense of like it's kind of to some degree become a I don't know what do they call it, like the people on the internet who make jokes about being, you know, so crazy, and their idea of crazy is like they say I read Derrida or something like this. And I there's a tweet like this, I think, where someone had one of these accounts where they posted a bunch of conspiracy theories, and then they read Derrida and they're like, I can't believe that like someone wrote such garbage. And somebody's like, wasn't your whole thing supposed to be like being fringe? And then you like I I don't know. It's kind of wacky. It's kind of silly. I think, but I'm a fan of Derrida. I don't really care as much for the hauntology part, but like I like the rhizomes. I'm a big fan of the idea of like the rhizomatic stuff. A body without organs. This is sort of like a conceptual thing that goes that that goes hard, as they say. You know, yeah, yeah. Geo Gotti's son, or specters of Mark's daughter world. This is sort of the case. This is sort of the case. Like, you know, um, such is the way of the world. But these are I think these are both like quite I don't know, rather fun individuals to hang out with. I think. But yeah, Derrida is kind of cool. Like the whole um, I feel like I don't know. I feel like my idea of like the must read kind of like in the philosophy zone is probably kind of it's probably somewhat weird, I think, because I think yeah, Fanon is the only like must read I think in terms of politics. Everyone else it can get kind of optional after that, but like I feel like reading this guy is sort of a must. I think you should. I think reading women. If I had to pick a third, honestly, like if I had to pick a third, like Kafka maybe. I'm kind of a big fan of. I'm a big fan of this guy. I think he's a fun one to read. But I would say Kafka, and then what is that one called? Frankenstein. Frankenstein. This is sort of the. I would say this one's kind of a necessity as well. But these are, you know, this kind of goes under Read Girl. This is sort of a similar case, but now I'm just being partial because these are like my own personal favorites. But I think for a hauntology, you can I think you can kind of experience this like through music because this is sort of like a musical thing. Like if we look up hauntological music, do we get like actual yeah we get Anubis's Dark Ritual, haunting Egyptian orchestral music. Okay, this is Are we? Do we live? Do we live? Oh, the bug is fucked up. Oh, look at this thing. It's talking. It is. Um. So it seems like what might have happened is that pipe wire exploded, and we're we're gonna have to I think kill ourselves really quick. Not the stream, but the entity that is, it has no mouth and it must scream is kind of what it's doing right now, which is crazy. But can we die?